I went and saw the Mandalorian and Grogu movie yesterday and thought I might as well make a YouTube channel for this review and other Star Wars updates. My name is Luke, so I thought it would be a fitting name for the channel. Creative. But let's get into it. There will be spoilers, so anyone that hasn't seen it probably will click off the video now. To sum up the movie without spoilers in one word would be fun. I think the movie is fun, and I think obviously it's intended for all audiences. I've watched Star Wars Theory's review on it, and I do understand his point of view, but I also understand the point of view from the other side of the spectrum, being that, it's not fully lore driven. If you're a lore driven person that wants to see lore movies, this movie isn't for you. Yes, it has Easter eggs. Yes, it will have Easter eggs with people playing as certain characters. It's intended for all audiences, and right now Star Wars is in the mud. I think it's safe to say that, I've been around Star Wars my entire life. As you can tell, my name was, named after a pivotal character within the movie saga and everything like that. The thing is that Star Wars hasn't been very good in terms of storyline lately. Yes, the sequels, in my opinion, weren't story driven. They were story driven, but they didn't have great story. Then you have Ahsoka season 1 was good story, but I think, I have my gripes with that. Andor, I thoroughly enjoyed. I like Rebels, I like Clone Wars and everything like that. The Acolyte. Let's just move on. Basically, this movie was good to get anyone that was out of touch with Star Wars or hadn't seen Star Wars before to really get to grips with Star Wars. It doesn't tell you everything about it, but it will get you interested into, this world building's cool. The Mandalorian is cool. Is that the only Mandalorian, or Grogu's nice and cute and whatnot? Is there any more of him? And then it sort of gets that sort of audience that haven't been made aware of Star Wars before to get into Star Wars. And I do understand the complaints, the for and against of wanting it lore driven, whereas not wanting it lore driven. Star Wars needs to be launched into theatres a lot more often. TV has really killed Star Wars in that regard. But the movie was good. I really enjoyed it as someone that's, past its prime in terms of lore, but very much within the lore. I do appreciate the movie for what it is. It's not something that you're going to come away with saying that's mind-blowing, but it's not something you're going to come away with saying I just sort of wasted my money. Let's look into a couple of financials, because I know people base it off the financials, whether it's a flop or not, even though I kind of disagree with that. Let's go. So production budget, which is about 165 million. Domestic opening 3-day period, which was 81 to 82 million. Domestic memorable day 4 is 100 to 102 million. International opening was about 63 million. Worldwide opening range is roughly 161 to 165 million. UK and Ireland 4-day opening was 6.4 million. This was conducted in around 4,000 domestic theatres. Don't think this movie will do the numbers that Disney thought it would, but I don't understand how they think that it would get great numbers. I've been watching Star Wars for so many years now, and every time I watch something new, I'm just like, do I really want to have myself watch and waste time like this? But to be fair, the only thing that hits, and I think I sort of match the opinion of Star Wars Theory, is that the Clone Wars, Rebels to an extent, and especially the Darth Maul series, the Darth Maul series that's just gone, oh my god, was that epic. That was literally what every fan was sort of asking for, especially those that really theorized Darth Vader and Maul fighting together. And I have my own opinions on that. I've got so many opinions now that I'll just probably just make so many videos of them. But yeah, in truth, or in summary, to sort of summarize everything, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie wasn't brilliant. It was good. It was fun. It wasn't bad. It was just something that is a fun watch, and definitely, or hopefully, gets a lot of people within Star Wars watching Star Wars. The only thing is that Star Wars is so story driven, and there isn't a huge amount of story with this movie. You go into the theaters, you sit down, you start watching the movie, and you come out the same way you came in, basically. There's no build up to this is the grand finale or what it's going to lead into, whether it's to do with Thrawn or anything like that. It just sort of ends with they go off into the sunset again. The one thing, my gripe with this, is that there's so many points in this movie where it's close to one of them dying and somehow they live. and it's just like, yeah, it was obviously intended for audiences with kids, everything like that, which is fair enough. But I do think the movie was good in its entirety. Could it have been better? Of course. I just want a lore-driven and story-driven more than anything. Let's not paint lore as something that is something you needed to be around for a long time for. Story is the main focus of Star Wars. It always has been, always will be. So it tells you that the story has been pretty crap because of how Disney has treated it. So hopefully moving forward we get proper story-driven movies. But that's basically my summary. Hopefully it's not many spoilers in there. It's a fun movie. You're not going to get too much out of it, but it is a good watch. I would recommend a Star Wars fan watch this movie, basically. This is my first video, so I doubt anyone may watch it, but if you do, let me know what you think.